way that high school students kind of take care of justice within their own world.
Sharp little guy. He's one of the worst students we've got.
I feel like it taught me a lot about how to tell honest stories about high school. Wes Anderson's movies in particular have been very helpful to me writing. I think the way that he writes about young people in a respectful and intellectually engaging way, and the way that he treats teenagers with the same thoughtfulness and respect that he treats adult characters is really inspirational to me.
I'm sorry, did someone say my name?
I don't use a lot of movies in my mind when I write, but I definitely do bring Rushmore into my brain when I'm writing.
How are you, John?
I'm all right. Hank, I have to tell you the honest truth, which is that there is a little bit of me that wishes that in addition to having opted out of Twitter, I could just not have my daily thoughts consumed so much by certain political leaders in the United States. But this is the reality that I'm living in right now, and I'm just trying to make a go of it here at Grover Cleveland High School. Do you get that reference?
I don't. I do not.
Oh my God, it's to the best movie ever. I can't believe you've never seen Rushmore.
I have seen it, I think.
Oh my God. Even the idea that you don't know whether you've seen Rushmore is deeply upsetting to me. That's honestly worse than if you just hadn't seen it.
I accept that is the case. Hey, John.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
You know that part in Rushmore? Actually, you don't, because you're not familiar with Rushmore. I can't believe you haven't seen Rushmore at least 12 times. How can you even claim to be my brother? Anyway, there's this part in Rushmore where one of the characters says, I ain't even here, Sergeant. I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming. That's how I am. I'm not really here, to be honest with you. I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I'm just I'm working a lot, and I am engrossed in my work, and I am not really capable of thinking about anything else. How are you?
Good. How do I get you here? I need a brother.
No,
for my podcast.
I have to stay in Cheyenne. Unfortunately, I have to stay in Cheyenne, Wyoming, as long as possible because it is the closest that I really ever come to pure happiness. Or actually, it's not like happiness, but pure fulfillment or engagement or whatever. You know how you spend your whole entire life stuck inside of the prison of yourself and there's no escaping it, and it's sort of like a horror movie in that you live inside of a consciousness.
Stop trying to make me uncomfortable with the prison of my body, John. I want to not recognize. I don't want to think about it.
And lots of people are able to very successfully not think about it, and I actually think that is the correct strategy. So we can just move on to the short poem if you'd like.
Hey.
Hi.
You know what's happening in my life right now? I got to tell you
I thought you usually ask how I was doing, and I have a whole bit prepared.
Okay, well, you go first then. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Rushmore, Hank. It's a great movie.
God.
There's a moment in Rushmore where the character played by Bill Murray says to a teenager, "What's the secret, Max?" And the teenager replies, "I guess you've just got to find something you love to do and then do it for the rest of your life. For me, it's going to Rushmore." And often in the last 10 years, Hank, I have felt that I have unlocked that Max Fisher secret to life and am fortunate that it is not attending one particular high school. But at the moment, I'm a little bit jealous of Max and his singular focus and his ability to understand precisely what he wants from his life.
I would also love a singular focus. Do actual people have a singular focus? And also, is it a key to happiness? Because it seems
Well, I'll tell you what, I think
be.
the guy who made Rushmore, Wes Anderson, does have a singular focus, and it's making Wes Anderson movies. And I think he kind of wakes up in the morning and that's what he wants to do. And he doesn't sometimes in the afternoon while he's filming a movie, he doesn't drift off and think, maybe I'll start a convention about podcasts.
I got a microscope specifically just to look at fabric, and I feel like this is my singular focus. This is my going to Rushmore, and all I want to do is look at fabric and talk to people about how textiles work.
I like that we don't agree about everything, but I actually think that is one of our less interesting disagreements. We've got really good, proper disagreements about, for instance, whether the movie Rushmore is important to see tomorrow.
I will watch Rushmore, John, and in fact, I would like to watch it with you if that's ever possible. I think that would be fun.
It'd be great. I would love to watch it with you, but it's going to be a little annoying because I mouth every line of dialogue as it happens.
How you doing, John?
I'm all right, Hank. You know that line from Rushmore? I ain't even here, Sergeant. I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Hank, you don't even have to have seen the movie. I do. To get the reference, because I previously referred to it on the podcast. The point is
this how we're gonna? Is this now a continuation of the intro where I just say how you doing, John, and then you quote Rushmore? Like, is that a new bit?
The point is that I've been in Cheyenne, Wyoming for far too long, and I've kind of lost my sense of self. But I can't leave Cheyenne, Wyoming right now, and yeah, we're growing purple asparagus in our home garden.
Well, why didn't you start out telling me that story instead of being like, I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming, Rushmore is great, and you're terrible?
I didn't say you were terrible. I do think it's weird that you haven't rewatched Rushmore when it's clearly one of the best movies ever made.
Is that a good baby voice?
Yeah, that was a good baby voice. That sounded just like Alec Baldwin in Boss Baby.
Is Boss Baby a movie?
You didn't see the movie Boss Baby?
Turns out no. Is it as good as Rushmore?
No, it is not. It is not as good as Rushmore.
We learned that Boss Baby is a really great movie, almost better than Rushmore.
No, I did. The book is good. Everybody buy the book. You know what? I'm not even going to comment on that. So as listeners to Dear Hank and John will already know, I am a huge fan of the movie Rushmore. And within that movie, there is a play set during the Vietnam War in which a character is asked, how long you been in country? And the soldier replies, I ain't even here, Sergeant. I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Anyway, Cheyenne, Wyoming has since become my personal shorthand for the place I visit when I am deeply immersed in a project. Like when we first started making Vlogbrothers back in 2007, I spent several months in Cheyenne, Wyoming, because I wasn't really wherever I physically was. I was always thinking about what my next video was going to be about, or how to grow our audience, or about how cool YouTube was. But mostly I visit Cheyenne, Wyoming when I'm writing. Now, in a lot of ways, being in Cheyenne is super fun. Like, one of my primary complaints about human life is that we spend the entire enterprise stuck inside of one particular slowly decaying body. And living inside a made-up world has always allowed me to feel kind of free from that, like free from the twin prisons of my consciousness and my body. But also, for much of my life, Cheyenne has been kind of an escape. Like, all those years when I didn't have many real friends and I felt intensely lonely, I could always go to Cheyenne where people would like me because, I'd made them up. That said, when I'm in Cheyenne, I'm also kind of, like, not here, which means that sometimes I'll be at dinner with my kids and not answer when I'm asked a question. I neglect daily responsibilities, I forget to get haircuts. I've been in Cheyenne, Wyoming for quite a while now, and I expect to be here a while longer, and it can be really frustrating because I actually like my real life, and I like making videos every Tuesday, and I'm not all the way here, and I worry I should be. Because the other thing about going to Cheyenne is that you aren't necessarily going to come home with anything. Like, I spent about a year in Cheyenne finishing The Fault in Our Stars, but I also spent several months there a few years ago only to realize that the book I'd worked so hard on wasn't very good and wasn't going to be published. For me at least, I can't know until after I immerse myself in the work, which is frustrating and scary, but you know what? Actually, no, but it's just frustrating and scary at the moment. Hank, in your video last week, you talked about how to be productive, and I thought you gave very helpful and astute advice, but I think creative productivity is somewhat different. Because for one thing, you have to spend time in ways that markets and our culture don't really recognize as productive, like reading or pacing or staring out the window. And then, once you get deep enough into the work, you have to make space in your life and ask the people around you to make space in their lives for you to go to Cheyenne, Wyoming. Now, that doesn't mean working all day, every day. I wrote my first 2 books at night after work and wrote them quicker than I have any book since. But it does mean that a certain percentage of your intellectual and emotional self will be absent for a while. Then you make what you can of your time in Cheyenne, and then, maybe most importantly, you come home to your body, to the sensate world, to the real people you really love. Unless you live in the actual Cheyenne, Wyoming, in which case the whole metaphor sort of falls apart. Anyway, Hank, that's as close as I can get at the moment to advice on how to make stuff. And I also want to say I'm sorry if I haven't been around enough lately. I will come home at some point. In the meantime, I miss you. Hank, I'll see you on Friday. Comes from the siblings Crowell, who write, Dear John and Hank, recently my sister and I went to our local hipster mall. What? I'm sorry.
There's a hipster mall?
What?
Do you shop for hipsters?
Yeah, I'm surprised to learn that there is such a thing as a hipster mall. The malls near me still all have Spencer Gifts inside of them. To our local hipster mall to catch a screening of Rushmore. Even more surprising.
Wow, yeah.
Both of us have been longtime listeners of the pod, and we both thought the recommendation of the film was too great to pass up. We enjoyed the film thoroughly, but found ourselves in profound anticipation of the quote, "I ain't even here, Sergeant, I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming." Much to our surprise, it wasn't even a quintessential instance in the movie as a whole. While we have since made peace with being misled with what we thought was the most iconic quote in Rushmore, how could one make peace with being misled by those we look up to? Che cavolo ste facendo, the siblings Crowell. I hope you guys didn't just make me curse in Latin.
How did you mislead people? You said there was a quote in a movie, and then there was a quote in a movie.
To me, the whole thing that makes Rushmore great is that many of the best lines are not presented with like, and now we will cut the music so that the character can say a line and then like CSI Miami style put their sunglasses on. Like, I love that there are so many great little lines in that movie that you might not even notice till your second or third viewing. I apologize if I made it seem like it's a critical moment in the movie. It's not. Like, it's a play within a play moment, but I love that line. I love that line. So I can't really apologize because I'm not really sorry, because I think that's what makes Rushmore so great, but it does have some other great lines for sure. And don't worry, the next time that I'm working on a book, I'm sure that I will quote all of them to Hank while we are potting.
I really need to watch this Rushmore movie, John. I assume that it is about the president's murder mystery.
Oh my God.
South Dakota.
How can... Okay, so there's the most amazing thing in the movie. I think I've even told you this before. The most amazing thing in the movie happens very early on, where the Bill Murray character says to Max Fisher, "What's the secret, Max?" And Max says, "The secret?" And Bloom says, "Yeah, you seem to have it pretty figured out." And Max says, "The secret? I don't know. I guess you've just got to find something you love to do and then do it for the rest of your life. For me, it's going to Rushmore." And like the idea that like Max Fisher has figured out his passion, but it's going to this one particular high school it's just perfect.
Okay. That does sound good. I would like to have a passion. I have many. I would like to have a particular passion.
Oh my God, what I wouldn't give
like?
for Hank to have one passion.
What would that even be like? I see like people who just tweet about one thing, and I'm like, you person who loves this one particular weather satellite, how do I be you? How do I just love that?
I wonder if those people in real life, though, like on a day-to-day basis, if they're always thinking about that one particular weather satellite or weather satellites in general, or if like they also have lots of other interests, they don't share those interests with the public. Mm-hmm. I would like for you to have one driving public-facing interest so that I wouldn't have to have so many jobs being the tail to your many comets. Okay, but to the question, Hank, what is the most seen you have ever felt by a work of fiction? For me, it's probably the movie Rushmore. Mm-hmm. You know, I went to a boarding school. I was a screwed-up kid. I made a lot of bad choices and benefited from a lot of luck, but more importantly, from a lot of structural privileges. Mm-hmm. And I thought that movie captured some of the best and the worst of my high school self.
That's good. I have completely lost touch with my high school self.
It's either that or Looking for Alaska, the Looking for Alaska TV show. Dear John and Hank, it's currently 5:03 in this college dorm room in Texas, and I've been listening to your podcast between biochemistry lectures, and I'm wondering something. I know y'all memorize a lot of quotes and song lyrics and keep lists to remember them, and I do as well, but I am particularly interested in Latin. Do you like to learn Latin phrases? One of my central mantras is inventas vitam luvat. I'm really good at pronouncing Latin.
You did
It's one
take
of the
Latin.
things I'm known for. I took Latin 1 3 times. I took Latin 1 in 9th grade. I got a C-. Then I took Latin 1 in 10th grade. And then I took Latin 1 in college.
Okay, let's try. Give it your best shot, John.
Inventas vitam juvat
Exculius per artis, which translates to let us improve life through science and art. I thought you would appreciate that. I find that both of you follow this notion beautifully. Glucogenesis is important for the brain, apparently, Darby. Good job studying for biochemistry, Darby.
I feel like Darby's going to be a little disappointed Hank's not answering this.
Will Darby be disappointed that Hank's not answering this? Or will Darby be thrilled because two people who fell in love partly through Latin phrases are answering it?
It's true. So when John and I first started becoming friends and exchanging emails, I had this great book of Latin quotes called Amo Amas Amat and More.
Yeah.
And I really found it helpful for figuring out email sign-offs, you know? Because it sounds pretentious and a little silly now.
It doesn't sound pretentious. I think it's super cute.
But
it would be pretentious.
It gave you, John, the recipient, like a little something to look up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You could figure it out.
Yeah. I think it started because we were talking about how we both liked Rushmore.
Yes.
And there is a line in Rushmore where Max Fisher, the main character, like saves the Latin program at the school.
I saved Latin. What did you ever do? Sic transit gloria.
Sic transit gloria, glory fades. That's the line that he uses to try to woo this teacher.
Yes.
And sic transit gloria is such a great classic observation. Good morning, Hank. It's Tuesday. So there's this line in the movie Rushmore where a soldier walking through a jungle says, "I ain't even here, Sergeant. I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming." And that's kind of become a metaphor in our family for whenever we're really into writing or making art or whatever, because that's kind of what creative expression is to me. It's a way of escaping the body-tight prison of myself and traveling to other places, like Cheyenne, Wyoming. So yeah, full disclosure, I ain't even here right now. I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Like a couple nights ago, I said in my sleep, Chapter 2 is not working, which it's not, by the way. And that's pretty weird. It's also a reminder that disease is not just a medical phenomenon, it's also a social one. Like how we imagine diseases matters. So I've been in Cheyenne, Wyoming trying to figure out how that happened and how to tell the story of it. Like how did we end up in a world where in the 21st century, the deadliest infectious disease is curable? That's never happened before. The 20th century's deadliest disease wasn't curable, neither was the 19th centuries or the 18th centuries. You could go all the way back through the centuries. It's literally unprecedented, and trying to understand that and figure out how to tell that story is very different from like making up a story in my mind, but it's also not that different, because whether I'm writing fiction or an essay or a video script or whatever, what I'm really trying to do is like make sense of a world that does not really lend itself to sense. And that feeling of trying to like piece together various things until it makes a picture that makes sense to me is very fulfilling, but I don't actually think it's what I like about writing. I think ultimately, deep down, what I love most about writing, Hank, is that it's something to think about. It's a way of visiting Cheyenne, Wyoming, escaping myself and being able to worry about something else for a while. Like at 11 p.m., when I would otherwise be going through my usual worries and mortifications, I can think about the story. I can get out of this flesh sack that is also a bacterial colony and visit Cheyenne, Wyoming. But then eventually there does come a point where I'm not really here. I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And like even when I'm dreaming of Cheyenne. And that can be a pretty intense experience, but it won't last that long. Like next week, I'm 100% sure that I won't be in Cheyenne, Wyoming all the time, because one of the things that I've been working on will be happening, but I'm not allowed to talk about that yet. I hate it when YouTubers are like, something's gonna happen, but then I can't talk about it but I actually can't talk about it. Gosh, what was the point of this video? Cheyenne, Wyoming is a metaphor, not a real place. Go to Cheyenne, Wyoming whenever you can, but don't stay there forever. All right, that said, I'm going back to Cheyenne, Wyoming.
You know that great line in the movie Rushmore where, have you seen the movie Rushmore?
Yeah, where he says, "Nice nurse's outfit, guy."
No. Nice OR scrubs. Oh, are they?
Oh, are they?
No, although that is a really, really good line in the movie.
Yeah.
It's a funny movie. It was very important to me when I was in my teens.
Me too.
In my 20s. It was the most important movie to me when I was in my 20s, probably.
Yeah.
And anyway, there's a line in that movie where there's a play taking place, and the play is set in Vietnam, And so they're walking through the Vietnamese jungle, and this American soldier says, I ain't even here, Sergeant. I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And I've always taken that as a metaphor for like when you're not really present in your life because you're so involved in a creative work or whatever.
Yeah.
And right now that's where I'm at. I am not even here. I am in Cheyenne, Wyoming. And it's I don't even know if it's good.
I don't know
what
if it
I'm
would
working
be.
on. But I'm okay.
Oh, to be in Cheyenne, I mean. I see what you're talking about.
I think it's good to be. Yeah. I mean, I don't even know if it's good news to be in Cheyenne.
I've never been to Cheyenne. I don't know.
I don't metaphorically.
Oh, okay.
You've been engrossed in work.
Yes.
And in creative work. So you know the feeling. It's a pretty good feeling, but it's also, I think it can be a little okay.
Now I have a poster in my basement for Heaven and Hell, the play within a movie.
Yes. Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's called Heaven and Hell. The
Vietnam play within the movie.
Yes.
Oh, that's so cool.
Somebody made a poster for it, like illustrated a poster.
That's so freaking cool.
I love it.
So that is where I'm at right now. I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming, not literally, but metaphorically. Actually, I don't think I've ever been to Cheyenne. I've been to Wyoming a couple times, but I don't think I've ever been there.
I've been to Jackson.
I've been to, I don't know where I've been in Wyoming, actually.
Good morning, Hank. It's Tuesday. So listen, a little movie magic for you. I only appear to be in Indianapolis. I am, in fact, in Cheyenne, Wyoming. I've been in Cheyenne for most of the last few weeks. And by the way, I don't mean the largest city in Wyoming with a population of 65,000 human souls. I mean, of course, the non-sensorial space of Cheyenne, Wyoming, as defined in the famous, to me, movie Rushmore. So inside that movie, there's a play about the Vietnam War. As an aside, I love a movie within a movie or a book within a book or whatever. I love fictions that exist only in fragments, like an Imperial Affliction in The Fault in Our Stars, or like this play in the movie Rushmore. Anyway, in the play, which doesn't exist, inside the movie that is made up, a character in the jungle says, I ain't even here, Sergeant. I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming. Now, I first saw the movie Rushmore when I was 21, that delicate age when one's taste is being semi-permanently defined/invented, and ever since, Cheyenne, Wyoming has been my way of describing the places I get to visit when I am fully engrossed in writing. Hank, Cheyenne, Wyoming is amazing, and I will suffer almost anything to be able to get there. But this time, I find myself thinking differently about why we make art and also who we make it for. And I've always enjoyed visiting Cheyenne, Wyoming, to coin a brand new sentence, regardless of whether there was an audience on the other side of that work. Also, it gives me something to think about. Hank, having something to think about is highly underrated. Like, when I'm in Cheyenne, Wyoming, I am not bored when I'm alone with my thoughts, because I'm always thinking about the story. I am always trying to solve a problem or figure out a character. So these days, I think writing is for me. It's just also hopefully at some point for you. But I just love it, Hank. I love when the story takes over my brain and fills the empty spaces in my consciousness and becomes the only thing I want to do or think about. Like, you know how when you're falling in love, everything you do or say reminds you of the person you're falling in love with? It's kind of like that. Now, of course, it's not easy to get to Cheyenne, Wyoming. I think over the last 10 years, I've made 3 videos about Cheyenne, Wyoming, which is about how often I've been able to visit there. But for me, at least, the feeling is so good that I am willing to work quite hard to get there. So yeah, it's taken me a few years to get back to Cheyenne, Wyoming, but I'll tell you, it's always worth the trip. Hank, I'll see you on Friday.